Love, live, life. Life can be glorious and hideous. Stick your feet to the ground, but don't think you are counted out. Don't let the wind pull you and tear you apart. Let yourself live freely and love, and you'll be happy. No limits. Just keep on.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another Iron Will podcast with me, Shane Warner, and
John Chase.
So what this podcast is all about is we are trying to get stories from people that have been through a traumatic experience in their lives and came out a different person.
Yeah, they have all created an iron will. So what is an iron will? A burning determination that cannot be stopped or hindered by anything, willing to do anything to get a desired outcome, extremely resilient. So what we like to say is just keep punching.
Yeah. So sit back and relax, and we're going to start the show.
You guys are just going to ask me questions and I'm going to answer them?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And just, so you can tell your story and we can help inspire other people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds good. And who's your audience? I don't want to get too deep or...
You're good. You're good. We've had some pretty heavy content, believe me. We've had some heavy content.
That's what I need to know.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
sounds good.
Okay, so today we have Teresa Valenzuela on the podcast with us, and she's a community outreach coordinator for a tech nonprofit in San Diego. So what we want to talk to Teresa about today is, from what I understand, she struggled with addiction for a long time and ended up in a wheelchair because of it. And so we want to get into that story and find out how Teresa uses that in a positive
way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So can you just kind of introduce yourself and kind of expand on your story a little bit, Teresa?
Absolutely. Shane, John, thanks for having me on board. I appreciate your time, your energy. Oh, yeah. I actually just celebrated in July my 30th year of being in a wheelchair.
Okay.
I've been in a wheelchair longer than I've been walking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I got to tell you, it's not so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's what you make of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, I think anybody and everybody that goes through has to go through a process, and that does include grief and the loss of your legs and the inability, and I can't do this and I can't do that, and poor me, let me just have another drink. Yeah. And so they just kept pouring me drinks and I just didn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was that your main addiction, is alcohol?
Oh no, I did everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
My main addiction was what you got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anything to numb the realness of your situation.
Yep.
Yeah, because the truth of the matter is it wasn't even that's all that it is a Band-Aid. The addiction is just a Band-Aid to what really is going on deep inside of you. Now that I'm grown and I'm coming to find out that, anymore I don't ask, hey, has anybody ever tried to kill themselves? I ask, who here hasn't ever thought about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I get then I'll get a hand here and there, but that's about it. But the truth of the matter is that we've all gone through some kind of pain in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is I definitely have gone through mine. And I want to touch on. I was going to go somewhere else, but let me stay here with me. I was born into a poor family. I was labeled immediately in regard to society's eyes as being a Mexican, poor, uneducated, and eventually a lot of other labels that came with that as well. Drug addiction, all kinds of different labels that are placed on you by society.
Yeah.
And sometimes unbewittingly, even your parents, even you take those words and put them and say them out loud. It's like, oh, I'm just Mexican, or I'm just, poor, or I can't do this and I can't do that.
Yeah, I think that's the most dangerous place to be, is like believing the labels that people put on you and not being able to find any way out of that.
Because you don't know that there's a way out. You don't know that you're even stuck in the cycle. You don't know what you don't know. And I did not know that these were even labels that I picked up and brought into fruition. I'm the one that made them self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Right.
So unbeknownst to me, I'm showing up as a victim. Didn't even know it.
Yep.
Yeah, you're already in that mindset. And once you get in that mindset, like I've been in that mindset before with my brain injury. And like I thought poor me and poor, like I really hated my situation and being in the hospital and stuff like that. But then like I found the will to get out of that. And so like I'm excited to hear about what turned it around for you.
Yeah.
Well, I think that, well, more recently, I got to tell you, because just recently, I'm 57. I just celebrated my birthday on the 27th. 57 years old, and this past year I'm in this group. It's called the Low Rollers Club. And the reason I'm in that club is that it's a bunch of us individuals that have some kind of physical God, I'm even trying to get away from the word disabled. Okay,
right, sure.
We either then you don't even have to be disabled either to join the group. But I joined it because of COVID. So we're all working out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and from all over the world. Right. So they tell me, my coach tells me about this National Wheelchair Sports Camp. And he calls me up, hey, you want to go? And I'm like, oh, I can't. What do you mean? I can't do something like that.
Yeah.
But I never.
But it's specifically designed for people in wheelchairs, right?
Oh, I mean, God, all the way from little babies. I mean, you got little 5-year-olds that are there. Veterans.
You were just in that mindset of you can't do something. And
I was in that mindset because I've been in that mindset of that's how far my thinking went, is because I can't afford it. I could, and I couldn't afford this trip either. And so right away, that's all I've ever said is I can't. And so think about that. That's where all my mindset went to. My universe went to I can't, right to the edge. I never thought about, but what if you could?
Yeah. And I there's a lot of people that are in that same boat. I mean, they suffer from that victim mentality. Like they identify with it. And when you identify with it, it becomes a part of you.
And you don't even know it, So my coach, he really helped me out in, and this is just last year. So the answer to your question is I've been evolving. I don't think you ever, you do stop evolving and you get stuck and just stay there, But I've just been learning and open to learn. And that was just like a mind-blowing moment for me when he said, but what if you could? And I said, well, what do you mean? He says, what if money was no issue? And I said, tell me more.
Yeah. Okay. I like the way this feels. Yeah.
He says, what would you do? Would you buy a plane ticket? You would already have the plane ticket, right?
Yeah.
Said, well, what are you going to wear? I said, what's going on over there? And he said, oh, we're going to go, what do you call that? Zip lining.
Yeah. Sweet.
I went zip lining, horseback riding.
That's awesome.
I went skiing for the first time in my life. I was smiling so bad. Oh my God, I went on a pontoon, and not the one in the country song. This is high class one. Okay? Oh man, I had such a good time. Opened my soul, opened my spirit up to God. I'd never been out of California. Went to Minnesota, most beautiful green place, lush green.
Yeah, for sure.
So it opened my mind up in so many ways because, I got clean and sober 5 years ago, and it's like, oh, okay, you're clean and sober, and so now you're just back into society. It didn't work that way. And what I mean by that is, you ever watch that movie, Shawshank Redemption?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you remember when Morgan Freeman, he's after 50 years in jail, he's on the bus and he's holding on to the railing, and he's scared.
Yeah.
Well, that was me coming back into society. I have a picture of myself going to an office job for the first time in my life 5 years ago because they let me volunteer there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now I have to learn how to behave in the office. I didn't even know that I was at the copy machine waiting for the paper to come out so I could turn it over.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I didn't know that it copied on the other side. Because when you're busy getting high and doing that kind of behavior, society keeps moving.
Yeah, it does. It does. And things change and you miss all of that.
Yep. And you're just closed off to the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I wasn't physically in jail,
right,
I was in jail.
Yeah.
Prison in your mind.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one thing that I did is 5 years ago, I got off Social Security.
Wow.
I got off all of the stuff that keeps me poor mentality.
Yeah.
Right.
That victim mentality, that poor mentality, because it just it keeps you to that I can't mentality.
Yeah.
Because I can't afford it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's justifiable. I don't want to live like that no more. I only got so much time left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been sober for 5 years, correct?
Yes.
And so,
It's great.
yeah, that's an awesome accomplishment. And
Yeah.
I just want to commend you for being like able to get past. And I think the most important thing was you getting off of Social Security. And so you could
Changing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can finally go out in the world and do work and stuff like that. So I think that's an amazing thing.
Thanks so much, Shane. I got to tell you, it's the road less traveled.
Yeah.
Because, and I'll tell you why. Because you're penalized for doing so.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to pay Social Security back. I have to pay the IRS back. Because I'm working now, the student loans kick in, you know.
Yeah.
But I have my dignity.
Yes.
You become independent instead of dependent.
Yes.
That's right. And that's exactly where I'm going to continue. That's the path that I'm on.
Yep.
It's the road less traveled. But what I can tell you is that because of, I can't even go. We don't have enough time to talk about everything that I've gone through. But I have died a few times.
Wow.
A lot of times.
You got to at least tell us one of those stories.
Well, I
All right.
the one I'm most interested in is the one that put you in the wheelchair.
I knew that.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
exactly what I'm
We
gonna
gotta
tell you.
get. We gotta get a little bit of the pain. We gotta hear some of that.
Well, because listen, I realize that that's just human curiosity. People are going to want to know for the rest of my life whenever I get into a new situation.
So do you, let me
happened?
ask you, do you get sick of telling this story?
No, and I'll tell you why. Individuals afterwards will come to me privately
Yeah.
and tell me their deep, dark secrets.
Yeah.
Their deep star. I had an older white, I say this on purpose, gentleman that was in his 70s.
Okay.
And I know that he told nobody this just because the way that he said it to me. He bent over, came out. He was a very tall man. He came down to me and he just whispered in my ears, #me too.
Oh wow,
That's awesome.
In his 70s, he said this.
yeah.
So, and that told me that he had been holding on to that for a long time. So the pain that I go through on a daily basis and what I've been through, those moments, I cherish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cherish them because he healed just a little bit that day.
Yeah, that's right.
So let me tell you how it went now.
Okay. Yeah. Let's get into the nitty gritty.
Okay, the nitty gritty is. Let me ask you this first. You know, have you ever? I'm sure I'm talking to probably two experts here, and who can't relate. Has anybody ever been broken up in a relationship and just didn't want to live no more?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
And yeah, and sometimes people, it's not the like a loving relationship. It could be a relationship between a father and son. It could be a relationship between a mother and daughter. It could be a relationship.
Sure.
Yeah. that there are breakups in those too.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us can relate.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's another perspective I wasn't thinking about, but definitely is, just being in pain, losing a friend at war. You just, there's so much. But that pain that you just can't bear anymore is what I went through.
Okay.
And so,